Kino 2025, the resurgence of analog aesthetics in a digital world. In an age where ultra-high-definition streaming and AI-generated content dominate our screens, a surprising trend has emerged from the underground and crept into the mainstream: the revival of analog cinema aesthetics. From grainy textures to handheld camera work, filmmakers and audiences alike are rediscovering the magic of imperfection. This resurgence is not just nostalgia-driven, it is a reaction to the digital saturation of modern visual culture. Directors are intentionally embracing 35mm film, vintage lenses, and minimalist sound design to create emotionally resonant works that feel tactile and real. The popularity of lo-fi visuals in independent cinema, paired with curated retro screenings in urban pop-up theaters, signals a collective longing for authenticity. This trend isn't confined to art house circles. Even blockbuster franchises are incorporating analog elements to differentiate themselves in a homogeneous content landscape. The stylistic shift also aligns with changing audience psychology. Viewers, overwhelmed by hypervisual effects and non-stop content flow, are seeking a slower, more grounded experience. Films like Motherboard 79 and Dust of Neon, both released in late 2024, have embraced analog formats not just as a visual choice, but as storytelling tools. The tactile quality of film grain and the subtle color bleeding evoke memory and emotion more powerfully than digital sharpness ever could. The critical and commercial success of such films has proven that analog aesthetics are more than a gimmick. They are a legitimate artistic movement with staying power. In response, streaming platforms have begun curating analog cinema collections, offering remastered classics and new releases that embody this aesthetic, complete with behind-the-scenes looks at the filming process using vintage equipment. Parallel to these cinematic developments, the poster culture around analog cinema has exploded into a major design movement. Graphic designers are crafting film posters that harken back to the golden age of hand-drawn movie art. Using bold typography, half-tone printing effects, and limited color palettes, these posters, often released as limited editions, are being sold in digital NFT galleries as well as physical pop-up shops, becoming collector's items in their own right. Aesthetically, they serve as visual extensions of the film's analog identity: tactile, imperfect, and emotionally resonant. Audiences are no longer just watching these films. They're buying into an entire visual universe that blurs the lines between film, design, and nostalgia. Looking ahead, the analog revival is set to influence more than just how films are made. It's reshaping how stories are consumed and remembered. Education in film schools is now reintroducing courses on celluloid editing and optical effects. Filmmakers are hosting workshops on DIY analog techniques, encouraging a new generation to experiment beyond digital tools. What began as a stylistic rebellion has matured into a cultural movement with real infrastructure. Dedicated analog film festivals, grant programs for analog projects, and even new startups producing vintage equipment replicas. In a time where AI can fabricate perfect visuals at the push of a button, the deliberate choice to embrace flaws, texture, and limitation is becoming cinema's most radical statement.